Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr. Today we have a matchup between two Hall of Fame teams in my Payoff Pitch League. That's what we're going to do today. You're going to watch me play this game. I haven't played a game, well, I've played many games, but I have not played a game and videoed it for, it looked like about 5 months or so, for my Payoff Pitch League. So I thought I would do that for all of you who are curious to see, once again, how I play Payoff Pitch. Today's matchup is between Oakland and Boston. They are two of the American League Hall of Fame teams in my league. For those who are new, just a quick recap. I have 4 American League and 4 National League teams. 3 of the 4 teams in each league are Hall of Fame teams, and the 4th team is made up of great players not in the Hall of Fame. In the American League, Detroit is the non-Hall of Fame team, and in the National League, it is Chicago. So, Boston and Oakland are 2 teams made up of Hall of Famers, and that's who is playing in today's game. I play a third of a season, so 54 games is the regular season. We did have an all-star break, and the top team in the American League and National Leagues will face off in a World Series. I don't do interleague play for this league, so that's reserved for the World Series. So, should be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Boston is in first place in the American League, 23-14, though they've only won 4 of their last 10 games. So they've kind of been having some struggles lately. Oakland, on the other hand, is in the bottom of the American League, 14-23, and they've only won 3 of their last 10 games, though they did win the last game. So they beat Boston in yesterday's game. And that brings us to today. So, let's take a look at how I start. Well, I have I have a dice roller that I use, an XL dice roller that I use, and I'll also do a little pregame check to see who might have to be rested and all of that fun stuff. And that I do that because if you've played Payoff Pitch, there aren't injuries tend to be few and far between for the most part. And so without those, and with teams filled with Hall of Famers, the reserve players at each position wouldn't get much playing time otherwise. So I've incorporated this rest chart to see how all of that works, or how all of that will go. And so that's what we're doing today. I guess I got to open all of these. So I'll introduce those as we go. But here's what I did. I rolled on this chart, and that tells me not only the weather, which we're playing at Fenway Park today. Boston is the home team. And so we have a possibility of rain starting in the 5th inning. And we'll get to that when, hopefully I remember in the 5th inning to take that into account. And then it also auto-rolls potential rest or injuries or odd things that may happen pregame. So in this case, we had potential rest required for the home team starters, and that was Boston. And so after I set my starting lineups, I will roll this and see if anybody needs to be rested. And this is telling me the right fielder, the DH, and the catcher are possibilities. And then there's a check. And I compare this check to the injury rating of the player in question and look at this chart to see if they need rest. Well, the right fielder, 86, nobody's going to need rest with an 86, even a prone player. And same with the DH at 95. Nobody was going to need rest with a 95. But the catcher, on the other hand, even if he were iron, a 9, he would still need rest. So when we go to the starting lineups here in a second, we're gonna notice that the catcher has already been swapped out of the starting lineup. So just to kind of give you an idea there. And so that's what I do before the game starts. The other thing I do is I have some homebrew running charts that I use. And so those are a little different than the straight rules that are in the rule book. And so you'll see these come into play, and I'll explain those as I go as well. So I usually pull that up. I pull up the regular charts for Payoff Pitch. I have, and each of these is a separate PDF that I have that I can refer to during the game. That's for stealing mostly. I have the rare plays. I pull that up separately just so I can easily get to the rare play section when that comes up. I do play with rare plays. I know some people don't. And then finally, the entire game, if there's something that I missed in one of those three and I have to look something up for whatever reason, I also have that pulled up as well. And so I may refer to those as we go as well. But let's take a look at the starting lineups here, beginning with Oakland. It's the Oakland Jacks. I named each of these teams and created a logo for them. I kind of went overboard, but it's something fun. It was something fun for me to do. So that's what we're looking at today. And I guess we're going to pull that down a little bit to about right there. So leading off and playing shortstop for Oakland is Lou Boudreau. By the way, for the most part, I use a single season card, the best single season card for each of these players. Very subjective, but some of them, though, I use a Legends of Bust card if they weren't carded or didn't have a very good card for the regular season. And then, of course, Negro Leaguers, I use the Negro League set as well. So starting off, leading off for Oakland is going to be Lou Boudreau at short. Lou Gehrig will be batting second and DHing today for Oakland. Hank Greenberg will be batting third and playing left field. Batting in the cleanup spot, Ken Griffey Jr. in center field. And Josh, usually it's Mickey Cochran, but Mickey Cochran's injured right now. So Josh Gibson actually will be batting fifth and catching. Jimmy Fox will be batting sixth at first base. Batting seventh at third base is Edgar Martinez. That's a Legends of Bust card, by the way. Batting eighth and playing second base, Eddie Collins. And batting ninth, someplace I don't think he probably ever batted in his career, is Reggie Jackson. But that's because, especially in these Hall of Fame games, he struggles. All right. And pitching for Oakland is none other than Nolan Ryan. We will see how he does today. Nolan Ryan, in the so far this season, is not doing the greatest. He is 4-5 with a 5.17 ERA. Now, American League ERAs are higher. The offense is higher, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. That all of those are just much higher than they are in the National League. If we look at the pitching, we see that 5.51 is the ERA of the league overall, the American League. And batting, 282 batting average, 348 or 346 on base, and 476 slug is the overall league batting ratings. So just kind of keep that in mind. So actually, Nolan Ryan is a little bit better than average in his ERA. Now let's take a look at the home Boston Splinters. Leading off in right field is Ichiro Suzuki. Batting second at second base, Nellie Fox. And Wade Boggs batting third at third base. George Brett's actually injured. He would be the normal third baseman for the team. Frank Thomas in the cleanup spot is DHing today, followed by Ted Williams in left field batting fifth. Mule Suttles, a Negro League guy, is batting sixth and playing first base. Tris Speaker batting seventh at center field. Alan Trammell is playing shortstop and batting eighth. And finally, we have, will normally be Carlton Fisk, but remember we rolled a 9, so he is getting rested today, and we have Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge Rodriguez, catching and batting ninth today. Now, I don't have the, if there's just a game or two that they're out of the lineup, I don't really switch the lineups. I have these saved in a lineup folder, and so that they're very easy and they're in order and all that. But if it's just a game or two, it's more trouble than it's worth to me to switch those out, and I just will look up that individual card every time they come up to bat. So that's kind of what we look at. And of course, as I said, we are playing in Fenway Park. This is the 1948 version of Fenway Park. And so, with all of that said, we are ready to get started here with Lou Boudreau leading off against, I forgot to say, Gaylord Perry is pitching for Boston. And Gaylord Perry has a little bit better of a record than Nolan Ryan does, and a little bit better ERA. His Gaylord Perry is 5-2, and his ERA is 4.97. I think 4.97, 4.84. Excuse me, 4.84. So a little bit better. So it doesn't seem like a very good ERA, but again, the ERAs in the American League are much higher than you would expect. All right, all of that said, let's get things started here with Lou Boudreau leading off. And right away, we have a defense check. And it's going to be shortstop range check, and that shortstop is Alan Trammell. He has a range of C. And if we look over here, a 1-48 would have been a base hit, but we rolled a 78, and that's a pop out to short. So Lou Boudreau, who is hitting .331 on the season, pops out to short to lead off the game. Brings up Lou Gehrig. Gehrig is batting .315. And a 9 is going to be in play, 73, and that is going to be a ground out to short. Trammell's up with it over to first. 2 quick outs here for Oakland to lead things off. Hank Greenberg stepping in. Greenberg was only hitting .277. Tough 76. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning here as Greenberg grounds this one to second. And Nellie Fox takes that one over to first for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Oakland here in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. Nolan Ryan steps in, and he will be facing off against Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro's hitting .295 for Boston, but he's hitting over .300 overall. When he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he switched teams. He had been playing for Detroit, but once he got inducted in the Hall of Fame, he joined one of the Hall of Fame teams. Tough 29, and Ichiro doesn't strike out very often, and he fights this one off for a base hit. A leadoff single here for Ichiro, and now we're going to look at the steal here. 6+ means it's a 7 for his first time on base, and we rolled a 4 for a jump, so it's a possibility. And this 26, if we cross-reference a 7 with a hold of 9, a 7 with a hold of 9. I know that's going to be a 7 with a hold of 9. A 1-84, 0-84 would be a steal attempt. And we rolled a 26. Now, Ichiro is a B stealer against Josh Gibson, who has a 4 arm. A B4 29 is what we're cross-referencing. B4 29, and Ichiro is safe at second with a stolen base here. So right away, Boston has a man on second base and no outs, and Nellie Fox steps in. And we have another tough result. Tough 96, that's a fly out to right, and Tough will drop Ichiro's run rating by 2. And let's see, a fly out to right to advance to third. A fly out to right, he needs a 7+. Adjusted arm chart. The right fielder arm is Reggie Jackson with a 7. I believe that's no adjustment. Yes, that's a 0 adjustment. So he would have needed a 7 or higher to advance to third. And because it's -2, he only has a 6, and he stays put. So not quite deep enough to Reggie in right. So Ichiro stays at second here on the flyout. It brings up Wade Boggs. And we have another tough result. Tough 27, but again, Boggs doesn't strike out very often either. And tough 27 is going to be a single. And then I look at this die here. And 1-2, it's left, 3-4 center, 5-6 right. So another, this time to right field. And a single to right with a runner on second. Second to home, right field. Well, he's not going to go unless, because this was a tough result. So we'd have a 6 here, again, because it drops his, and then I usually look at this overall roll to see if it's 6 or under, and they may risk it, coach's choice, but it's an 8, so he stays put again. So now we have runners on first and third, though. 1 down, and Frank Thomas steps in. Nolan Ryan trying to get out of this jam here in the first inning. And that's a tough 28, and he strikes him out. It's a first strikeout for Nolan Ryan here, and comes in at a key time as he fools Frank Thomas with that pitch right on the outside corner. Ted Williams, though. Nolan Ryan not out of this jam yet, and that is another tough 7, and that's another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts here. And Nolan Ryan gets out of that first inning after allowing a leadoff single and stolen base. Boston cannot score Ichiro. We head to the top of the second, still no score. And Gaylord Perry will face Ken Griffey Jr. Tough 32, and he strikes him out. First strikeout for Perry here in the game. And that brings up Josh Gibson, as I said. So again, if it's just a game or two, I just look up the card rather than switching out the lineup. And another tough result, tough 95. And Gibson skies this one to left field, but Williams will have some room, and he hauls it in for out number 2. So Jimmy Fox. Another tough result, tough 48, and he strikes him out. Another 1-2-3 inning here as Fox watches strike 3 go by in that one. I usually, if this ends in an 8, 9, or 0, I usually say it is a strikeout looking. Just if you're curious. It's just another one of my little things that I do. Everybody, you just kind of have to find the way you want to play, honestly, and what works for you. All right, so Nolan Ryan will face off against Mule Suttles here to start off the second. Suttles hitting 321. That's going to be a patient 55. And Suttles lines one into left field for a base hit. Another leadoff base hit here. With a 3 jump, he is not going anywhere. Brings up Tris Speaker. Now, if I roll a 2, 3, or 12, we're going to do the sack bunt here. But I don't. It's a 10, and that's another patient. Patient 36. And Tris Speaker draws a walk. There's one thing Nolan Ryan can run into trouble with are the walks, which kind of makes sense if you know his career. That brings up Alan Trammell. Once again, Nolan Ryan into some trouble here, and that's another walk. Patient 3, and that's going to load the bases up with no out. So what started with a leadoff single is now turned into bases loaded here after 2 consecutive walks. And Ivan Rodriguez will step in. Defense is actually going to play straight up here. Just because it's early in the game, and we would rather get double play here if we can. Ooh, no. That is going to be a ballpark. 50 on the ballpark with a right-handed batter is a wheelhouse. 61. A little past the grand slam range here, but it's still going to be a bases clearing double for Rodriguez. And just like that, Boston has taken a 3-0 lead here as that one's in the gap and all runners score. Not the kind of start Nolan Ryan wanted. Those walks came back to haunt him immediately. We get back to the top of the order. Rodriguez still at second base, no outs. And that's going to be tough 61. All right, a ground out to third. That'll get one out for Nolan Ryan. And since it's to third and Rodriguez doesn't have a lot of speed, and it was tough anyway, he stays put at second base. So 1 down. Nellie Fox steps in, and that's another tough 16, though. Fox does not strike out very often. And that 16 is going to be a base hit to, this is a 4, so base hit to center. Another tough means Rodriguez's running will be a 4. And he stays put at third, but we have runners on the corners now with 1 out. Nellie Fox on first. He's going to stay put. He has a jump rating of 3. Wade Boggs. Once again, they're going to bring the corners in now just to make sure Rodriguez doesn't get an easily score here. Rodriguez will not be going on the pitch. Patient, 76. It doesn't matter. That's another base hit. That's a base hit to left. And that will score the 4th run for Boston here in the 2nd inning. They have runners on first and second now. And Frank Thomas is up with still just 1 out. And he strikes him out. Another strikeout for Frank Thomas. He struck out in back-to-back innings now, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Nolan Ryan. Again, one he needed badly here. Ted Williams, though, very dangerous, and that's going to be a walk, another walk to load the bases. So Boston bats around here in the 2nd inning. And Mule Suttles, who led off this inning with a single, is stepping in with the bases loaded, chance to do more damage here. But he does not. That's a tough 98. And that is going to be a fly out to left. Greenberg under it, and that will be out number 3. But Ryan, not an inning that he wished he had that inning back. Instead, Boston's up 4-0 here after just 2 innings. So we go to the top of the 3rd, and Edgar Martinez will step in against Gaylord Perry. Perry deals. Tough 73. And that will be another out. This time fly out to center. Tris Speaker's under it for out number 1. Eddie Collins. Ballpark. Wheelhouse. So Collins is a lefty. It's going to be a wheelhouse 33. And that's going to be finally the first base hit for Oakland this game. A base hit for Eddie Collins. Finally gets a base runner for Oakland. Reggie Jackson steps in. One on and 1 out. In play 77. And Jackson flies this one to center. Speaker has plenty of room to make the catch here. And that's going to be out number 2. Back to the top of the order with Lou Boudreau. 12. Tough, 05. And Boudreau doesn't strike out hardly at all. And this one's going to be a 2-out double here as Boudreau lines this one into the gap. And with 2 outs, I don't think that's going to score Collins because Tough is -2 to his run, which makes it a 4. A double with 2 outs is, well, if it were to center, which it is, he would need a 5 or higher. So normally he would have scored, but he has to hold up at third base. So runners at second and third here with 2 out. And Lou Gehrig with a chance to get Oakland on the board finally. In play 95. That's not going to do it as Gehrig hits this one to right. Ichiro on the run, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Oakland with a chance to score there, but comes up short. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Ryan facing the bottom of the order, starting with Tris Speaker. And another walk. A leadoff walk here for Speaker, who's walked both of his times at bat, or both of his plate appearances, excuse me. Alan Trammell. Ryan's been very wild today. Tough 38. This time he gets Trammell to pop this one up on the infield, and Collins will be under it for out number 1. That brings back up Ivan Rodriguez, who had the bases clearing double to start off the scoring in the 2nd inning here. A defense check. Shortstop error check. It's not going to be an error with an 83. It's a line out. Boudreaux is a B. So I believe that may be a double play, a line-out double play here. Line-out double play. Fielder makes a great catch. If range is A or B, closest runner caught off base for a double play, and that will be a double play. As he catches Speaker going. So Oakland gets a gift here. Doubled off of first. 6-6. 6-6-3 as they catch Speaker off the base. So great end of the inning there for Oakland. Gaylord Perry will face Greenberg, Griffey, and Josh Gibson here in the top of the fourth. In play 94, and that one is a fly ball to left. Williams. He'll be under it for out number 1. Ken Griffey. Tough 67. And once again, Williams getting a lot of attention here today. 2 straight flyouts. This will be Josh Gibson. Patient 63. Patient 63. And that will be a base hit. So Gibson with a 2-out single to keep things going here for Oakland. Jimmy Fox, 2 down, 1 runner on. In play 87. And this one's grounded to short. Trammell over to Suttles for out number 3. So once again, Oakland quiet here in the fourth. So Ryan will get the top of the order for Boston, starting with Ichiro, who's 1 for 2 today. Tough 18, and he strikes him out. Ichiro fouled off a bunch of pitches here, but finally Ryan fools him with 1 on the corner for out number 1. Nellie Fox. Tough 21 against. Again, Fox does not strike out very often, and he fights this one off for a single. So once again, Ryan cannot get through an inning cleanly as Fox gets a base hit here in the fourth. That'll bring up Wade Boggs. Patient 77, and that's another base hit. This time a base hit to left. Fox has an 8 speed, so runner first to third, in play to left, you need a 9 or more. But with this 3, he is going to attempt it. And the attempt is a 97. A 97. And that's safe down here. So Fox takes the chance and makes it to third on the base hit. So runners on the corners here with 1 out. Boggs with very little chance of stealing a base. And Frank Thomas steps in. They'll bring the corners in here. Tough 97. It won't matter. Tough 97 is a fly out to left. Greenberg's arm is a 9. So Tough is a -2. But Fox had a run of 8, so that knocks him down to a 6. But an arm of 9. +2. That makes it 8. Scoring from left, 6 or higher. So, yes, that's going to be a sac fly to left. So Greenberg will haul it in, but Fox is going to score easily on the play. And that will make it 5-0 here in the fourth inning. So Thomas gets the job done in one way, and Ted Williams will step in. That's going to be another walk, right? It is. And Williams draws his second walk of the game. Ryan has walked one in almost every inning so far. So that puts runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Mule settles. Tough 81, and he should get out of this one. And he does, as Suttles lifts one to center. Griffey will be under it for out number 3. So a little bit more damage done, but not much. Perry facing the bottom of the Oakland order, starting with Edgar Martinez, who flew out in his last at bat. Tough 77. And he is going to fly out again, this time once again to Tris Speaker. That'll be 1 away. Eddie Collins, tough 74. And that one's also to Speaker. Speaker has to make a little bit of a jog to his right to get this one, but still a pretty easy play for him. 2 down for Reggie Jackson. Tough 55. And Jackson with a 2-out single here. He lines one to right. So once again, Oakland able to get a runner on. And that gets him back to the top of the order for Lou Boudreau. Tough 72. That's going to be as far as it goes, though. As Boudreau with another fly ball to center for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Boston still up 5-0 here. Bottom of the order. Speaker's walked in his last 2 at-bats. This time, look at that. Tough 22. Just past his base hit range. And he gets Speaker to pop one up. Collins under it for out number 1. That brings up Alan Trammell. Tough 96. And Trammell lines one to left. Greenberg with the easy play. And Ivan Rodriguez will be the last chance here in the 5th for Boston. Patient 6, he could not get out of the inning, could he? As Rodriguez draws a 2-out walk here. He couldn't quite do it. That brings up top of the order with Ichiro. Tough 17. That's going to be another strikeout. Ichiro with 2 strikeouts today. Doesn't strike out a ton. And that ends the inning. Another scoreless inning for Nolan Ryan. He hasn't had many of those today. And Gaylord Perry will face off against Lou Gehrig here in the top of the 6th. Oakland still looking for their first run. In play 54. That's a ground ball to third. Boggs over to first for out number 1. Hank Greenberg, he's 0 for 2 today. Tough 16, and he strikes him out. It's just the 3rd strikeout for Gaylord Perry today. And Ken Griffey Jr. steps in. Tough 43, and Griffey, behind in the count, lines one down the line. And he'll be into second with a double. 2-out double here for Ken Griffey Jr. Josh Gibson. Defense check. Center field range. And center fielder is Tris Speaker. He has a range of B. A 1 to 36 would be a base hit, but a 42 is instead a short fly ball. So Speaker makes a running catch here. Able to track that one down. Otherwise, it could have been the first run for Oakland, but instead, Speaker makes the play. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Boston's still up 5-0 here. And Nolan Ryan will face off against Nellie Fox. Leading things off here in the 6th inning. And another walk. A leadoff walk here for Fox. Ooh, a jump of 3 isn't going anywhere. Wade Boggs. Ooh, boy, that is a left over the plate, and Boggs gets a hold of this one. It is way back and gone. 2-run shot here for Wade Boggs, who is now 4 for 4 in this game with 3 RBI. That makes it 7-0 Boston. This may be the last inning for Ryan, who hasn't looked very sharp today. We'll see how he does here against Frank Thomas. Tough 36, and he strikes him out. Frank Thomas, 0 for 3 now with 3 strikeouts. He did have the sac fly. So Ryan gets 1 out, facing Ted Williams. It's a defense check, second base error check. 1 to 42 would be an error, but it's a 45, so that's a ground out to second. A good play here for Collins as he comes up with that one and is able to beat Williams to first by a step with the throw. Mule Suttles. Suttles 1 for 3 today. Tough 08, and he strikes him out. So after that home run, Ryan's able to strike out 2 of the next 3 batters. But now Boston with a 7-0 lead. Here into the top of the 7th. Gaylord Perry will face Jimmy Fox. Tough 35, and he strikes him out. It's the second strikeout of the game for Fox, and the 4th for Perry. Brings up Edgar Martinez. Tough 85. And Martinez grounds this one to short. Trammell over to Suttles. 2 down. Perry deals to Eddie Collins. Patient 37, and Collins will draw a 2-out walk here. That is the first walk, I believe, issued by Gaylord Perry today. Reggie, he's hitting 175 this season. In play, we have a rare play. In play, rare play 43 with a runner on base. Runner on base. In play, 43. Reroll the 2d6. Check the pitcher's card as normal. All remaining batters of this inning automatically check that result until the pitcher is replaced or the inning ends. And runners advance 2 bases on all hits until the inning ends. So we'll just say they get an extra base on hits. But it may not matter because they're already 2 out. So re-roll the 2d6. I'll just re-roll it. Tough. It does not matter as tough 42 is a strikeout here to end the inning. Reggie with a chance, but cannot come through as that's the 5th strikeout for Gaylord Perry today. And we head to the 7th inning stretch. Oakland, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. Boston, 7 runs on 9 hits and no errors. A lot of those runs due to the walks that Nolan Ryan has given up today. And I believe we will be removing him from the game. Because he's giving up 7 runs, folks. So I had to move this over. Okay, so he goes 6 innings today. And Lefty Grove or Bob Lemon. Lemon also walks a lot of batters, I think. We'll try Bob Lemon out. Actually, I think I switched to his I didn't. Okay, so Bob Lemon's coming in. With this game well out of hand, pretty much. And he will face the bottom of the order here in the bottom of the 7th. Tris Speaker. Lean things off. Tough 83. And that will be a grounder to second. Collins up with it over to first for out number 1. Alan Trammell. Trammell 0 for 2. He did walk in his first plate appearance. Tough 74. And that is another grounder to second. Collins with back-to-back putouts here. Or assists, I should say. And that brings up Ivan Rodriguez. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. That's what I thought. A wheelhouse. 9. And Rodriguez. Pudge gets a hold of this one. It is way back and gone. A solo home run here in the 7th inning for Rodriguez. That makes it 8-0. Lemon had been doing pretty well, but left that one out a little bit over the plate, and Rodriguez made him pay for it. Ichiro in play 20, and that's going to be a base hit. So, Boston keeping things going here in the 7th. Ichiro 2 for 5 today. He does not try to go here. Nellie Fox, tough 26. Remember, Fox doesn't strike out very much. And that's another base hit. A single to left. 2 outs. Single to left. No. Ichiro will stay at second base. So runners on first and second with 2 outs now, as Lemon is allowed 3 straight base hits. Trying to get out of this one. Oh, he's not going to get out of this one. It's a center field range check. A range of D means a 1 to 58 is a base hit, and it is a 15. As another single, a single 2 bases here. That scores Ichiro, and Fox advances to third. That's another run for Boston, as Wade Boggs is 5 for 5 with 4 RBI in today's game. That's 9-0 now, Boston. Lemon facing off against Frank Thomas, just trying to get out of the inning. In play, and he will. In play 67. Thomas flies this one to right. Reggie will have room. So after 2 quick outs, Lemon allows 4 straight base hits. And Boston gets 2 runs out of the deal. We head to the 8th. Still no score for Oakland here. Oakland looking for their first run. And they have the top of the order facing off against Gaylord Perry here. Perry has just been cruising today, folks. In play 41. And Boudreaux lines this one to second. Fox gloves it for out number 1. Garrett go for 3 today. Patient 50. And he draws a walk. That's only the 2nd walk issued by Gaylord Perry today. Here in back-to-back innings, actually. And we'll bring up Hank Greenberg. Tough 86. And Greenberg lines this one to center. Speaker on the run, and he will be up with it for out number 2. Griffey, 1 for 3 with that double in the last inning. In play 47. Not this time, though, as he dribbles one back to the pitcher, and Perry will throw to first for out number 3. So after 8 innings of work here, Perry hasn't the shutout still going. Bob Lemon in there for the bottom of the 8th, probably the last inning. He'll have to face anyone. And he starts with Ted Williams. Tough 44. And Williams pops this one up on the infield. Ted Williams 0 for 3 today, surprisingly. He did draw 2 walks. but that will push his average under 300, I believe. Mule settles. He's 1 for 4 today. Tough 0-2, and he strikes him out. Lemon's first strikeout here in his relief appearance. 2 quick outs, much like the last inning. Let's see if he can close the deal here. Patient 54, and Tris Speaker draws a 2-out walk. The walks have been a killer for Oakland today. That brings up Alan Trammell, who's 0 for 3, but he did have that walk in his first appearance. Tough 48. That'll do it, folks, as he lines one to second. Collins grabs it for out number 3. So much better inning that time around. And Oakland has their work cut out for him here in the top of the 9th, as they're down 9-0 here. And Gibson, Josh Gibson will be the batter. Perry looking for that shutout. In play 76. And Gibson grounds this one to second. Fox over to Suttles for out number 1. Boston crowd on their feet as Perry faces Jimmy Fox. In play 5. It's not going to be that simple as Fox drills this one down the line. The throw to second, it won't be in time as Fox has a double here in the 9th. Oakland with some hope here of getting out of the shutout here, or avoiding the shutout. Perry does look a little tired out there, but not enough for him to come out of this game. In play 66. And that Martinez grounds this one to second. That'll be 2 outs now, and Fox will advance to third on the play. And brings up Eddie Collins. He's 1 for 2. He walked in his last appearance. In play. Oh, boy. And Collins drills this one into the gap. That will break up the shutout here in the 9th. Collins with a base hit, a double here in the 9th with 2 outs to score the first run for Oakland. And that brings up Reggie Jackson, who's 1 for 3. They'll just keep him in since he's actually had a base hit today. Maybe he'll have 2. No, he will not, as he strikes out Jackson to close out this game. Reggie watches strike 3 go by. And that ends it, folks. Gaylord Perry nearly with a shutout. Couldn't quite get there, though. Nolan Ryan, a terrible game for Nolan Ryan. But player of the game honors have to go to Wade Boggs, who was 5 for 5 with 4 RBI in this one. He had 4 singles and a home run and totally dominates in this one. This is enough to boost his batting average to 292. And so Wade Boggs gets player of the game honors. Remember, George Brett's their normal starter, but he's been injured, so Wade Boggs is doing his part. So Oakland, 1 run on 7 hits and no errors. Boston, 9 runs on 13 hits and no errors. Remember, a lot of those walks did a lot of damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walks in 6 innings for Nolan Ryan. And then Bob Lemon added another one. So a lot of walks there. 7 walks were killer. How many of those scored? So 1, 2, 3 of those walks scored. Yeah, what can you say? What can you say? So, folks, with that, let's take a look at go back to the standings here. By the way, if you want to follow the action, you can head over to baseballmaelstrom.com. And you can find all the projects that I have going on, and past, present, and future. Let's see. Boston wins this one. They'll improve to 24-14. give them a little bit of room, more room here in the American League. Oakland will fall to 14 and 24. They will be 10 games back in the American League. And remember, I'm playing a third of a season, so 54 games. And we are 38 games of the way there. So 16 more games to play. And Oakland's 10 games back. So that's not looking too good for them. Anyway, folks, that's where we will leave things. I hope you enjoyed that. Lopsided victory here for Boston. And a great performance by Wade Boggs. So hopefully you enjoyed that, folks. As always, consider subscribing if you want to get more action like this and want to see more videos like this of the projects and follow the projects I have going on. But we will leave things here for now. Thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.